All right, all right, all right. We are live. We are live. We are live. Gonna wait on a few people to come on in. Come on in. Come on in. And while you're coming on in, please uh, like the stream. Like the stream. Share the stream. Like the stream. Share the stream. I'm gonna do the same as we speak. Come on in. Come on in. Looking for it myself. Share it if you're on Facebook or whatever stream you're on. Share, share, share. We appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. I appreciate it. See a couple people coming in as we speak. Share, share, share. All righty. I've shared myself. Shared myself. All righty. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. People are coming in. I appreciate y'all. Again, please like and share the stream. Thank you so much. Uh, and welcome to another edition of Cap Talks Live. I'm your host, Jeff Bulls. I'm the president of Saginaw Cap. Saginaw Cap stands for Saginaw Community Alliance for the People. We are an advocacy organization located here in the city of Saginaw, but we are a statewide organization. We do a lot of advocacy work around policy matters here in the city of Saginaw, in the county, and in Lansing. Uh, you know, we do a lot in the community. We appreciate all the support that we've been getting from you all. And man, please keep that up. We're going to jump right into the show because we have a great show today, man. And I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to skip two steps already. But before I get to my guest, who's somebody special, I just want to start the show. And I'll just let you know I'm going to start every show like this until November. Please, please, please register to vote. Register to vote. Register to vote. If you haven't, don't be embarrassed by that. There's a lot of people that haven't registered to vote. There's a lot of people that don't know about voting. And that's one of the staples of Saginaw Cap. We're going to be out here hitting the pavement, informing people about the election, about how to register to vote, what's on the ballot, uh, you know, whatever information you need about voting. Please don't be embarrassed that you don't know. There's a lot of people that don't know. It's okay. It's okay to not know. What's not okay is that you don't go and get the information. And so please, please don't hesitate if you don't know. If you know me, reach out to me, reach out to our organization, email us, inbox us with questions. We'll send you whatever information you need. Reach out to us at saginawcap.org. Leave us a message on there. You can reach out to me on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever social media that you're on, that you see me on. Reach out to me. Please don't be embarrassed. Say, hey, I've never voted before, or I haven't for a long time. Whatever the case may be, no judgment. I'm going to help you. We're going to help you. If I don't help you, I'm going to send somebody to help you. But either way, we're going to get you on board so that you can be ready for this major, major election. I mean, I know that you hear it every time that this is the biggest election of our lifetime. I'm here to tell you, I'm going to say it right now. This is the biggest election of our lifetime. Oh my God. It really is, especially here in the city of Saginaw. In the city of Saginaw, I can't remember an election that's been so loaded. I mean, you're talking about 6 seats on the city council. You're talking about 3 seats for school board. Every seat at the county, every seat, all of them are open. All of them. All of them are up for election. The county clerk, the county prosecutor, I believe the sheriff's on there as well. Like this ballot is loaded, and that's just the local piece. I mean, now you get into Congress and Senate. the U.S. Congress, U.S. Senate. Like you have a historic candidate in each of those elections. In each of those categories, you have a historic candidate, and we can't miss the moment. We can't miss the moment. So, man, please, again, register to vote. You can register when you renew your license. You can register to vote. They'll ask you, do you want to register to vote? Say yes. That's all you got to do. They'll send you your voter registration card, and you're all set. It'll tell you where to vote at and everything. So it's so important. It's so important. And like I said again, if you need some help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Man, I'll be more than happy to help whoever I can. Reading some of these comments. Hey, Tara, good evening. Mike Henderson, good evening, my brother. Big bro Terry Reed, good evening, man. Great to see y'all on, man. Please like and share the stream. If you're watching, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. That's the end of my diatribe. I'm going to go right into my guest. Let me bring him into the stream here. Hopefully he's not driving. Maybe he's pulled over, but I'm going to add him in anyway.
No, I'm not driving. I'm not driving.
Good. Man, this person needs no introduction, but I'm going to try to do it a little bit of justice. Not to mention he's, he started out as my mentor. He's now my big brother. But professionally, he was the former CEO and president of ABC Greater Michigan chapter. He's a former CEO at Jimmy Greene and Associates, and he's now the vice president of marketing and community affairs for the OHL Saginaw Spirit, none other than Jimmy Greene. Big bro, what's happening?
Thank you, Brother Bulls. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to this. Thanks.
Man, great to have you. Great to have you, man. And man, congratulations. Let me bring it up for if you have been under a rock. Here's the graphic.
I did not authorize that picture, just so you know. I swear I didn't. I mean, it's kind of me. Don't get me wrong, but I did not put that press release out. I didn't have anything to do with that. I'm not kidding you. I think they just kind of did it as sort of a joke on me, but that's okay. I'm good with it.
Man, hey. Picture aside, man, congratulations, man. They couldn't have picked a better person for that role. I mean, you were doing it anyway. So they may as well have slid you in there and made it happen officially. So congratulations.
Yep, that's really true. It's just really a continuation of what I was doing with the Memorial Cup in particular. I mean, it wasn't any secret that when we bid out for the Memorial Cup, I mean, they wanted somebody that the region knew and who knew the region, somebody who could cross over in the Bay City, Midland, Saginaw, the business community, any number of communities to kind of facilitate this event that ultimately we pulled off. So, but I put a lot of seeds in the ground too. I always thought I might stay, but I had been away from it for so long, Lansing, in politics and policy. I needed to see if it was an itch I had to scratch first before I accepted that role. And I felt like the things and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come on the show, because a lot of the things that, I've heard in regards to the Memorial Cup, some of it fair, some of it just a result of misunderstandings, but there are a lot of things that we put in the ground that I wanted to own. And in respect to that, I wanted it to be the beginning of something, not the end of something. So here I am.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. And I want to get to that. But first, I mean, how tell us how this actual position came about. Like, how did they approach you with it? Or, you know what I mean? How did it come about?
Well, I think a lot of it was because of the Memorial Cup. I contractually signed on to do the Memorial Cup. I was still running Jimmy Greene Associates. I'm a registered lobbyist in the state of Michigan and across the country as well. So, I've done political work across the nation in DC, Michigan. And so for me, it was this opportunity. And I was actually going through cancer at the time I accepted the role too. So the timing couldn't have been better for me to kind of, stay home, stay closer to home, because I was having radiation 5 days a week, at 3:45 every day for 6.5 weeks. And it was actually starting to take a toll on me. But I kept getting up because this role was too important for me. And the role in itself was just meant to be temporary. But as we kept progressing and I kept planting seeds and I kept talking about the opportunities for the Saginaw Spirit, more importantly, for I would say the way we would invest in back into the communities. Because I always felt like we were pretty myopic, to be honest with you. I thought, we had this base of fans, but I thought, yes, because we're not exposing other people to hockey. And it's not even about hockey, it's really just about community and people that have come to the games in particular. And I made it a point to do that too. I created this opportunity for about 2,200 people who had not been in a Saginaw Spirit game to actually attend. They did. One of my favorite people is Evelyn McGovern, who runs Women of Colors. We actually sit on the Stars board together. And it was really kind of funny because she came to, I think it was game 3 of the Memorial Cup. And she called me the next day. She said, Jimmy boy, I'm telling you, I've never been to a hockey game in my life, but I am a hockey fan now. And she didn't know anything about the game. It was just that spirit, that community. Well, when I kept conveying that, to Dick and Craig, because I said, I don't want to be transactional. I really wanted to be relational, build relationships in these communities that we were in or not in. And from there, that role kind of developed. I know it's a long way to get to it, but it just didn't happen overnight. It happened through this evolution of the Memorial Cup. And so the Spirit had a decision to make. We were done with the Memorial Cup. So it's like, hey, that's it, done, a wrap. Or it's like, hey, let's continue this momentum. And the person who built it, and that was me. So that's how I got there.
Okay, awesome, man. Again, congratulations. Let's jump right to the Memorial Cup. I mean,
Sure.
Of course, the Saginaw Spirit won the Memorial Cup. I think that's has to be top of the list. Such a great accomplishment. What was that?
It's amazing.
Spears the only American hockey team to OHL hockey team to win it.
That's correct. Yep. Pretty impressive. I mean, when you consider that, the only 3 other, I had a chip on my shoulder right from the beginning. Because I told, and I said this on Facebook, I had 2 goals. One was for the team, and the other one was off the ice. Because I had this thing about, I knew that when they said Saginaw, because we heard the Canadians, I heard it loud and clear, and even not even the Canadians. Let's be honest, there are a lot of people even in Saginaw or around the region going Saginaw. When you consider that the only 3 cities that ever hosted was Portland, Seattle, and Spokane, right? So you talk about 3 major cities, all of them on the west side, the West Coast, right? And then there's Saginaw, and that's like that Sesame Street rhyme of which one of these don't belong here. And I got to tell you, Dick and I sat together with Craig, and we kind of put that chip on our shoulder. We're like, you know what, the hell with this. We're going to show these damn people that we could deliver a Memorial Cup. And so, the team had one goal that they had to perform on the ice, and we had another goal that we had to perform off the ice. And that's how that all started to evolve. It was just this chip on our shoulder that we could deliver, and we did. And there's always these opportunities. You go back and look and say, what could you have done different? And it's funny because I won't offer an apology. I can't, and I can explain that as we continue on, because to apologize is to say that you would have done something different that would have changed what the outcome was. And I can't do that because the outcome met our expectation. It delivered exactly what we wanted to from a hockey perspective. So let me make that abundantly clear from a hockey perspective, because, I had to push back on some people because there were a lot of people, quite frankly, who said, look, let's not even get engaged in all this other stuff. At the end of the day, these Canadians came to do one thing, watch hockey. And if we just stayed a hockey club, we wouldn't have had any of these issues. If we just said, look, we just playing hockey, that's it. But we decided to make it expansive, make it accessible, to do a whole bunch of things that, quite frankly, aren't hockey club driven. And that created this sort of, the steamroll of, well, what about us? And what about this? What about that? You're trying to fill all these holes you've created, but they were all met with reasonable expectations. But we couldn't deliver on everything that we thought would happen. And you don't know what you don't know. You said that about just about politics at the beginning of your show. You don't know what you don't know. And when you have no history, no template, because we were doing this thing, Jeff, every day. Like we were creating this thing every day. It wasn't like we had a manual so we could turn to page 4 and say, okay, don't forget to do. We didn't have any of that, none of that. And so we're just driven by the determination to make this damn thing successful, and more importantly, change what people thought about Saginaw. And we're talking about people who come here to play. The 60 teams that make up the CHL. That's the image we are trying to change, and I think we did that. I mean, we did that hands down.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you for that. And thank you for everybody that's in the stream. I see a lot of different comments. We're interviewing Jimmy Greene, who's now the vice president of marketing and community affairs for the Saginaw Spirit. Again, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Leave us some questions.
Yeah, please
Jimmy
do.
has a little
Yeah.
bit of time. I might throw a couple questions at him from the audience to see.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yep, I'm
Okay.
fire away.
Cool. So let me ask you, because
Yep.
of course, you had some, I think you had the majority of the talk about the Memorial Cup has been great, but there
Mhm.
were some criticisms. There were some things that were thrown out there, and I just wanted to ask you. So how do you feel about some of the criticism from
Fair.
like local businesses that
It was
that
fair.
feel slighted in the process,
Yep.
as they would say?
It was fair. The criticism, because I said this repeatedly, there are two things, there are two ways you can look at this stuff. One is you could be critical, and the other could just be observing. And so I looked at it as an observation. People were saying these things didn't materialize. Well, hell, I'd be stupid to say they did, because they didn't. But at the same time, this is true in business, it's true in community, it's true in voting, it's true in relationships. It's about intent. What's the intent? And the intent was to deliver what we thought would happen. And again, it goes right back to something that I said before too. We couldn't change what had already transpired because we didn't know that it was going to transpire. So we set up these things like with stars, for example, to create this transportation. First of all, when people said the Canadians didn't come, well, they did come. They just didn't come there. But they came. Our stadiums were full every single game. We had sellout crowds. The hotels at Tittabawassee and Frankenmuth all sold out. So they did come. But what we couldn't do was change the dynamics. We couldn't change this traffic pattern, no matter how. We couldn't just get out of our own way because we created this fan fest. And this goes back to what I said originally about if we had just said hockey, then we wouldn't have had the fan fest. We wouldn't have had the concerts. We wouldn't have had the food trucks. We just would have said, look, we're playing hockey and the hell with everything else. So when we set up so we could have fans, because we were really concerned about all of our fans, because we only got a third of those tickets. And so for people to understand the economics of this, we didn't make a penny. Like we were host. We didn't make a penny off tickets. We didn't make a penny off merchandise, off the concerts, food trucks. We don't make that money. That all belongs to the CHL. We won't recoup that. And I think Craig Goslin just came out that those monies that are considered profit all went back to nonprofits. So it was never the intent to make money. The intent was to hopefully send that kind of economic, those monies out into our community. Well, our community is kind of the key word here, right? Because I bet you Frankenmuth, they're rolling in it right now. So is Tittabawassee. They're rolling in it right now. But Old Town, SVRC, downtown, I don't even consider downtown to be a part of this mix. There is no downtown. We created downtown. Let's be honest. We did. We created downtown because when you walk outside the Dow Event Center, it's the same thing that's always been there, right? Nothing. The Temple, Saginaw Club, and what else? That's it. So I was when I talk about where we could have, or I wish we could have driven traffic, we're talking about Old Town and then SVRC and beyond. But when we created this fan fest, those people came out of the hotels on Tittabawassee on buses, came out of the hotels in Frankenmuth on buses. By the time they got down there from 4 to 5, they were literally captured in that environment. And by the time the game started, which is 7 o'clock, hell, they never wanted to leave. We scanned them in, and if anybody who's on this call went in, you can know. I mean, most people, when you scan in, you never scan out. So we created this environment that didn't entice anybody to leave. So, how do you apologize for it when you don't even know that it's going to happen? We certainly put out a lot of stuff. We certainly worked with stars. We did everything humanly possible, but shit, we couldn't control human behavior. That's the one thing we didn't know. So, is the criticism fair? Of course it is, based on the expectations that we set and that we thought would happen. Sure, it's fair. It just never materialized. So I never beat anybody up about it. I didn't say anybody was unfair about this. Not at all. I just think it's important to recognize too, and I think you said this on the call maybe last week or the week before. The only thing I have a problem with is we are not economic development. That is not our role. We are a hockey club. Make no mistake about that. Because if there was a hotel downtown, you and I would not be having this conversation. Because those people would have come out of those hotels, they'd have turned right or they'd have turned left, because that's what hotels do. They build retail, they build restaurants. That's what they do. And so at the end of the day, those people in Frankenmuth, hell, they had everything they wanted. Those people in Tittabawassee, they had everything they wanted. So by the time they got down to us, it was just about hockey. They didn't need to go anywhere. And I just wanted people to understand that it was not our job to be the economic engine or the economic drivers. Our job was to simply provide a platform where something like that would happen. And it didn't. But, we can't go back and fix that. I've told you this, my favorite quote is, you don't get do-overs, you just get do-betters. And we can't do it over. We can't have another 11 days where we have a Memorial Cup, shut everything down, not do a fan fest, not do a concert, and then send everybody out. I'm not so sure that would have worked either. I don't know that. But we can do better, which is one of the reasons it goes right back to what you said earlier. Why am I here? That's why I'm here, because of some of the things that I see that we could develop to help businesses that for us turns into a fan base. And if you ask me about economic development, it's reciprocal. If you don't say what's in it for me and the other person doesn't say what's in it for them, then you don't have any workable solution to that. At the end of the day, both parties have to say that's what's in it for us. So if small businesses say we need more business and we say we need a bigger fan base, that's how you put that together. But we're never going to do the Memorial Cup over again. So the criticism I take, I accept, it's fair, but there's nothing I can do about that other than move forward and try to remedy that with some new economic drivers that we can handle from a Saginaw Spirit perspective.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. Let me get to some of these comments, because a lot of people are saying congrats on your new position. Congrats. Jeanette says Jimmy did a great job. Rose said, Jimmy, you put people in seats who may have never gone to a hockey game, and I love that. We have to be introduced to different experiences. She also agreed that you guys absolutely created downtown during the Memorial Cup. Latoya Baker says lots of local bus riders save money because of the free rides.
Yeah.
Tara, she says the day of worship was amazing. Grateful to have been able to participate.
Can I stop there too?
Yeah,
that was another thing too. Let me stop, because I want to stop and make a point on that. That they didn't want to do that. The Canadians did not want to do a faith day because they were so afraid of religious implications, and I pushed back on that. I got and Reverend Coleman will tell you that, and Craig will too. We're like, no. I mean, we were damn near on the verge of mutiny when it came to the Memorial Cup, because we're like, no, we're going to have a faith day. And so we pushed through that at our own expense. The Spirit picked up the cost for all of that, because we never had a budget for it. So we picked up all the expenses for the sound, the performance, the stage. We picked up that cost because it meant the world to us to have that faith day. Absolutely. That was not part of the script, just so you know.
Awesome. Well, I'm Tara and others, I'm sure they're glad that you got it in. Swear to God says we now know how to do certain things better. Twan Williams, let me see here. Twan says there's nothing in downtown Saginaw that would be inviting to anyone. Hell, not even us as Saginaw residents find any entertainment downtown Saginaw. Most places you go, if nowhere else is thriving, usually that city's uptown or downtown is the place to be, except for here. And I talked about that last week. Like, the Memorial Cup was never going to fill that gap. It was never going to do that. That happened 20, 30 years before the Memorial Cup probably, ever was even a thought of coming here. So, the Memorial Cup, couldn't do nothing for that.
And you're right, because let me say this. This is so important. The Canadians left. The Memorial Cup left. We were never, ever going to make promises that would blow up in our face, because you know what? In 2 months, we drop a puck again. I live here. This is our community. So we knew that we were going to have to face our fans again. We knew we were going to have to face our community. We knew all that. So there was no way we were going to blow smoke up people's asses intentionally. I've had people say, well, they gave us all these expectations. No, we gave you an idea of what we were expecting, what we were anticipating. It didn't materialize, but it wasn't blowing smoke up anybody's ass. It's funny because I've been criticized as long as I've been in Saginaw, but never blowing up smoke in people's asses is for telling the truth that people may not like to hear. I can accept that. That I can handle. But it ain't blowing smoke up somebody's ass. We really, really if you were in our war room putting this together, like I said, with the buses and all those kind of things, hell yeah, we expected it. Of course we did. It didn't materialize, but it didn't mean we didn't put the things in place to make it happen. You talk to Stars. I'm on the Stars board. They lost money. We literally had to fundraise because they were losing $50,000, and I am not talking out of turn here because this is public, because they are a public entity. $50,000. We finally were able to raise money. They're still going to lose $20,000 by making those transportation routes happen over that 11-day period of time. So you start talking about what people anticipated, what they expected, the people who put a lot of stuff on the line, yeah, they were disappointed too, because you know what? There were times when those buses were empty, but they still made those routes. They still made those routes back and forth every 20 minutes. I watched them because I was right on the campus watching that bus on the corner of Johnson and Franklin stop every 20 minutes and take people or nobody back and forth to Old Town, down Michigan, because we put that route out to stop at SVRC. We spent hours making sure. We looked at the map to make sure they were there. Valerie's was there. The zoo is there. Well, what about, okay, yep, put them there. Rallies. We went out of our way to try to do that. And believe me, I'm not justifying or explaining. I'm just simply giving you an idea of the scenario that we put together. And then here's the other part of it too. So if I accept criticism, let me dish a little bit out, okay? Where was the other side of that? Like, where was the other side of that? Who said, where was that blow up that said, hey, listen, show me a Spirit hat, show me a Spirit ticket, show me a Memorial Cup thing and get half off this or get this free? I didn't see any of that. None of that. Matter of fact, it was 4 days before the end of it, before the Memorial Cup, that I saw Old Town put together, and was great advertisement, great. And I even had to coach them and said, hey, what about the Spirit thing? Like, draw people there. Tell them if you're a Spirit fan. There's a part of this. There's a two-way street here. Our job was to provide accessibility and transportation. We did that. Their job, invite them, incite them, incentivize them. That's not my job. Let me make that clear. That is not my job. I'm the marketer for the Saginaw Spirit, not for Old Town. And do I want that business to thrive? Absolutely. And that's why, again, I'm staying on board to make sure. I got dinner Friday night with Alex DePerry and Betsy to talk about some of the things that we could do at Old Town moving forward. The do betters is my point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess the only question really to ask you at this point, overall, from your perspective,
yeah,
what grade would you give the Memorial Cup experience here in Saginaw?
I give it an A+. I give it an A+. Again, based on everything I've said from our perspective. Now, if I'm grading, say, the Old Town experience, because you said Saginaw, the Spirit, yeah, we're A+. We delivered a fan fest like no other has. They literally, TSN, the Canadians, the competing teams, they gave us raving reviews. Frankenmuth, all these other places. That was the off-ice experience. We're not talking about the economic development side of it, because there was no economic development for us. And then from the on-ice experience, we won the Memorial Cup. So I'm not going to indict us again and give us a grade lower than the grade I think we earned. Now, when you start getting outside the Saginaw Spirit, what would I give us a grade in terms of community? Say with the community in particular, I'd say probably a B- or a C, only because the expectations that we had didn't meet those expectations. But again, that goes back to that do better piece. So I think you have to compartmentalize that from a team standpoint, a community standpoint. Now, from a branding standpoint, I definitely give it an A+ because there are people who think differently, not us. I wish we thought about us the way the Canadians do now. So the opportunity now is, what is Saginaw going to do to capitalize on a rebrand, on the fact that everybody thinks we're the talk of the town, the toast of the town. What does Saginaw do now to capitalize on that? Because remember, when we come back in September, all we're going to do is drop a puck. It is not our job to drive economic development downtown. We can drive asses down there. I do that. I could put a lot of asses in that seat. And they've been doing this. Think about this. Last year, the year before the Memorial Cup, we still had sellout games. You know what those people did? They went back home. They went to Bay City. They went to Midland. That is, again, is not our job. And I would start to question people who can't capitalize on a crowd that's outpouring the Dow Event Center, who get in their cars and go home. And that's pre-Memorial Cup. So this isn't a Memorial Cup issue, more so than it is, what are you going to do to fix that issue? And that to me is the most important question here. We missed an opportunity, but why? Why did we miss the opportunity? And then again, next year, somebody's already talking about having a draft here, an NHL draft here. There's some things that you got a little Dick and Craig, the Hoyt Park. They're talking about a Little League World Series. I know some people who are talking about Saginaw hosting one of the regional games for March Madness. And again, think about this. Nobody's going to say we can't do it. You know why? Because for 11 goddamn days, we delivered the Memorial Cup. We delivered the shit out of it. And so we can toast the trophy, but that's only for 365 days. What's the trophy after that? And I think that's incumbent upon the city, the county, to capitalize on what we think is a great momentum. Now, I'm here. So I didn't run away from that. I'm here. So, I'm in this. When you look at my community affairs, community engagement, that tells you everything right there. I'm fully committed, but I'm not going to do this by myself. And I'm also going to draw some lines. When you talk about how do we do it better, I'm definitely going to make it very clear. I'm a hockey guy. I'm going to put asses in seats. I'm going to put people at the Dow Event Center. And that's the only expectation I'm going to leave with people. Now, what they do when they come out of there, what they do before they go in there, I'm going to leave that to you, Jeff, and your constituencies. That's your role, not mine. If I bring you an audience, it's your job to determine what they do and how they spend their money, not mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I know you're a busy man. But any final words for the people? I mean, I know you kind of got into some things, but
No, I love Zach. Jeff, I think you know that. I've been around here for a long time. And criticism doesn't bother me because it helps me, it drives me, it puts a chip on my shoulder. But it's a positive chip. I love this place. I love what we stand for. I think you're right about political engagement. That's critical because through that becomes the engines of economic development. And I think the community should appreciate, because here's my thought real quick. What if we didn't do the Memorial Cup? What were we doing for 11 days at the Joe? What were we doing down at the Dow events? So that's a flip question to that. Okay, so people are disappointed. We didn't do everything we said we were going to do. Let's say we didn't have the Memorial Cup. Where's that replacement? I don't know. Now, I think that's an important question because I think next year, as we continue to grow, it's going to come up. And I think we better have a really good answer about all these people. Like if you look at the soccer field out in Saginaw Township, those things are packed with lacrosse people and soccer people. I don't see them going to Old Town and downtown. We're missing something. We're missing something terrible because every driving force in retail is about asses in seats, asses on the sidewalk. And we have them. It's not like we don't have them. That's the key here. We see them time and time again. Where's the direction? Who's pointing them there and there and there? Not the hockey club, because if you're waiting for the hockey club to do it, good luck with that. Because we're going to point him into the Dow Event Center.
As you should.
as we should. So no, I appreciate it, and I'm always willing to come on again. And my Facebook post is live. Everybody knows that, and I don't accept it. I don't accept criticism. I accept observations. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to criticize and just put a period at the end of it, I'm not going to accept that. Now, if you want to observe or criticize with a comma and then come back with something that's a resolution or an opportunity for us to do better, I'm all for it. And that's been my history in Saginaw from day one.
Hey, well, me personally, man, I know that I've benefited from that from you, man.
And I
years.
from you. And me from you. We have this kind of dialogue, and I think it's important. We don't have to be at each other's asses or throats. I mean, we just talk, and then at the end of the day, you find moderation somewhere. Because if there's a far left and a far right, neither one of them is going to accomplish a damn thing. On the other hand, I always find that when two people are vehemently opposed to something, you probably got a really good policy. Because when you got two people who don't agree and really hate something, that's probably a good place to start.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I look forward to working with you, Jeff, like I always do. And when you started capping, you remember I was the one that spearheaded it. I'm like, Jeff, you got to get off Facebook and get your ass out there and make their voice heard. You started CAP. I'm so proud of you. We're not always going to agree on things, but I will agree on your advocacy. I agree on your passions. I certainly agree on the idea that you spur talk that's necessary. And what people do with that, it's left up to their own devices. It's not my job to raise grown people.
Right. Man, well, thank you so much for coming on, Jimmy, man. I appreciate it. Man.
I love you, Jeff. I'll talk to you later. Okay, see you.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
All right. That was Jimmy Greene. Man, my biggest mentor. Man, somebody that's really, really special to me. But man, after my commentary on the Memorial Cup last week, a lot of people called me, a lot of people called him, and they were like, man, did you hear what he said? And he was like, yeah, I heard what he said. Matter of fact, he called me. He was like, if you want me to come on, man, we'll address it straight up. And, like I said, man, that's the type of guy Jimmy is. He'll take those bullets, but he might shoot a couple back at you. It's going to be a equal playing field. And so, man, I appreciate Jimmy coming on. Man, and thank you all so much for all your comments, man. I appreciate it. I have another guest, man, and I want to bring my brother on. Man, thank y'all again for all the comments. Please like and share the stream, man. We're gonna keep this thing moving because I got somebody else that's really, really, somebody that's special to me, man. And I want him to come on real quick as I pull up his bio. Let me get him in the stream here. Man, I don't think this guy needs an introduction either. If you somebody that's from Saginaw, man, especially us, man, you know who he is, man. But I'm a spill it to you anyway. He's a first generation preacher who started ministry at 15. I know a lot of us know him from that ministry. The ministry God gave him allowed the privilege of evangelistic preaching across the United States and Puerto Rico, and has spanned across 4 different decades, from the 90s, the 2000s, the 2020. Man, you sound old, man. And currently serves as the senior pastor of the Decision Church in Metro Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah,
Dre was an athlete at Saginaw High, where he graduated. Man, go Trojans! And went on to play college football at Tri-State University. Three-time all-conference selection. Dre is the father to 6, the grandfather of 3, and the husband to 1. Yes, sir. He has currently formed the Decision Community Development Corporation, where they will focus on developing affordable housing and a residential reentry program. We got to talk about that. Lastly, Dre is a scholar and an entrepreneur, owning 2 social media platforms that we're going to talk about, Live Waves and The Soapbox. He's pursuing a doctorate of ministry degree from Virginia Union University, aka Dre from Saginaw. Dre, what up?
What's up, man?
Man,
oh, man. Yes, sir. What's going on, boss?
Man, I'm trying to find out what's going on with you, man.
Man, look, I'm at work. I stopped being a substance abuse therapist, and I recently took the chaplain position at my facility I work at, which is it's a facility similar to Wolverine Human Services, but it's through the state itself, and so it's the youth prison for the state. And so I was a substance abuse counselor now, or a substance use therapist. Now I'm taking on the chaplain role, and I got a few church groups in here tonight. So I was running around and I said, "Oh, geez, Justin sent me the link, man." So, yeah, man. So I'm here, man. I apologize, man, for being late.
No,
I wanted
man,
to
you
see
good.
Jimmy, man. I wanted to see Jimmy, man. I saw him, but he didn't get to see me. But oh, man, tell him I said, hey, when you get a chance to talk with him again, bro.
Yeah, I definitely will, man. And I want to bring up your graphic, man.
Yeah,
Man, the decision,
that
community
decision.
church, man. Where, how did ministry and I would just say, because we're both believers, how did God lead you to Charlotte, North Carolina?
So it's crazy, man. I went through a horrible divorce in 2010 and 2011, and my former wife was supposed to be moving south, and so she's supposed to be moving to Tennessee at the time, and so I didn't want to be in the same area that she was in, and so so I was trying to move to like Atlanta, because where she was going to in Tennessee, it was about a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, so we could meet somewhere in the middle, and so I ended up moving to Albany, Georgia, which is down at the bottom of Georgia. And she ended up moving to Atlanta, and so because I wanted to be close to my kids, so I left the ministry there at Saginaw that I had founded, and I was pastoring another church in Flint at the time, and I let those things go, move south so I could be close to my kids. And then I don't know if you remember Ronovan Hooker.
Yeah,
Ronovan Hooker used to coach. He ran track and he played ball at the high too. But he was a track guy. He was one of Coach Perry's guys. And so that's my god brother. And so he was living in Charlotte. He's living in Charlotte, man. And I was in Albany. And I got to the place I wanted to quit preaching after I went through the divorce. I was just heartbroken and messed up. And I had started back evangelizing because people will Google you. I went to a church and they Googled me. And so I started preaching and I started traveling again. And then Ronovan asked me to come preach for him in Charlotte. And I just fell in love with the city, man. We was going to uptown Charlotte and riding through. And I just like, man, I love it here, man. And so I ended up coming to Charlotte because of him. And then he was telling me he wanted me to plant a church in Mooresville, which is like 20 minutes north of Charlotte. And so I ended up not going as far as Mooresville, but we ended up planting a church in Cornelius, which is like 9 minutes north of Charlotte. So that's what we ended up.
So how do you love it? You say you love it, man. Like what do you love about the area?
So what I love is, number one, it gave my kids the opportunity to really flourish in a way that they couldn't where I was living at in Albany, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more opportunity in a major city like Charlotte. Charlotte is like the 16th largest city in the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then particularly my stepson played. He was playing basketball at the time, but he ended up playing football. But my son, my biological son, man, is a basketball guy. Squirt, played basketball. He fell in love with basketball when he was a baby, and so Charlotte is like the hotbed of basketball, man. You know what I mean? Like every major coach in the country comes through here at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it was, and my wife, she couldn't find a job in Albany, and so the economy is much better, particularly for Black people. The opportunities are a lot better, and I love the landscape of the city and being able to. I love being able to get big city amenities. I got the pro teams. You know what I'm saying? All the major concerts, all the major plays, because we like to do theater. But also in the town I live in, which is like I said, 9 minutes north of Charlotte, you can't even tell that I live in a big city. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I really love about it, is I get both sides of the coin.
Okay. So I'm a move on here a little bit. I want you to talk about, man, if you have been under a rock or something, you know what I mean? You should have heard about Live Ways by now.
Yeah.
A lot of us are on Facebook. You might even be watching this on Facebook, man.
Yeah.
A brother right here that y'all looking at, man, that has his own social media network here with Live Ways, a whole thing that we need to support, man. Tell the people about Live Ways.
So Live Waves is basically, and I want to say this, Jeff has always been one of the first early adopters, first supporters of everything that we do. And so Jeff was on Live Waves when there was like 9 people on Live Waves. And so I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that tremendously. But Live Waves is basically, if you would put together Facebook plus OnlyFans plus iTunes plus Eventbrite, that's what Live Waves is. You know what I mean? Live Waves allows you to have the same social connection as you would on Facebook. It allows you to make money off of your posts and your live streams, like real cash, not 2 months later cash or a quarter later cash, but real cash from your live streams, from your posts, and from your audio uploads. It allows you to do ticketing, so you can sell tickets through the app as well. And so it's kind of an amalgamation of some of the major social networks. And the difference is, not only are we uncensored so that, you know, you can go where no man has gone before if you want, but also we instantly pay. So you can withdraw your money, or you can submit for your money to be withdrawn every day. You know what I mean? And so unlike Facebook and all these other places where you gotta, you know, wait for quarterly payouts, or you gotta wait for, you know what I'm saying, all these other things, with Live Waves you can get paid right now, you know?
Man, that's awesome,
Yeah.
Man, I gotta support, man. I don't care if I was the 9th person on there. I'm gonna support you. If it stayed 9, I'm still gonna be on there supporting you, man. But it's way more than that now.
Oh yeah. We're about at 8,000, 10,000 users, somewhere around there. And the beauty is we're getting ready to do a whole revamp. And so we got some beautiful new imagery, some beautiful new UI design, user interface design for the app. We're doing some different things as it relates to how the app moves. And again, it's so easy to use now. And it's so much easier to find people. So we're very excited. They can be looking out for the new face of Live Waves in late July. We're going to release it, and we're very excited about it. Very excited about the new look and the new feel of Live Waves and the money making opportunities that come with it.
Man, it's so dope. It's so dope. Man,
yeah, appreciate that.
Still on here, man, and we got a bunch of people on here, man. I'm about to click this thing again because this ain't the only thing he doing. let me click this next slide real quick, man.
Yes,
look,
sir.
he got another one. He got another one, man. And this one, I'm like so intrigued by this one, man. Tell the people about the Soapbox.
So the Soapbox is an app that I actually had created 10 years ago, 11 years ago. It was originally called You Got 45. You was on You Got 45, Jeff. You you're on You Got 45.
You sent me the beta link, man. I'm like, let me go in there and see what's going on.
Yeah. Yep. And so on You Got 45, what we did was, it was basically about a video Twitter. That's what You Got 45 was about. So what I did was I took the concept what I had of You Got 45 and added some different features to it that made it even more unique. And so with the Soapbox, you can upload 45-second videos anytime. And the beauty and the difference in the Soapbox and other platforms is, you know how on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, people get to doing the Twitter fingers and arguing back and forth all day. Well, on the Soapbox, all day. On the Soapbox, if you got an issue with something somebody said, you can set up a real debate with that person, a real video debate, face to face, and then have people vote on who was actually correct in what their idea or their opinion was. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what separates the Soapbox from other social platforms. We have a debate feature, but we also have a petition feature. So like I did this, like when all that stuff was happening with Saginaw High, you know, where they were trying to, you know, they eventually did, you know, shut down the high and did all this stuff, and people were filling out petitions. Well, with the Soapbox app, you could actually do a video petition. You know what I'm saying? Where people can come in, set up the petition, and then have people, instead of e-signing it with their email, they actually video sign it, and then you can actually see the people who have actually signed the petition.
Man, that's dope. That's so dope. I need to get me and my wife on there when we get to arguing. I
Right.
need some backup, man. Like what? I was right. I know I was right.
I know I was right. So yeah, man. And so the last piece that we have in the soapbox that's unique, well, one of the two things is we have what we call a town hall feature. The town hall feature is crazy because it's basically Zoom mixed with Clubhouse. You know what I mean? And what it does is allows you to put like 10 people on a stage for committee meetings or platform things that you have going on where you got different people on the platform discussing panel discussions and that kind of stuff. And then it has a feature where even if you have 10 people on the platform discussing as a panel, another part of it is you can have a person still raise their hand and ask a question, and they have 45 seconds to ask their question to the panel on video, and then they go back out. You know what I mean? And so we built it for adults because the app, the last feature that's very important to the app is that it aggregates all of the high-end news and the trending news from the top 100 news networks, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So if you put anything in the app, you'll be able to find out what's happening. On the search feature in the soapbox, if you put in Donald Trump, you're going to find all the videos, all the trending news about Donald Trump. If you put in Save Saginaw High, you're going to find all of the trending videos, all of the stuff about saving Saginaw High. You know what I mean? And so we made it that way because we wanted to gear it towards grown-ups who wanted to have real discussions about real issues.
Wow, man, yeah. That's so dope. That's so dope. Yeah. Man, J-Jack just dropped something in that, man, I didn't even, man, he throwing me off a little bit because I ain't had no graphic for it. But he brought up the soapbox sports debate that's coming. Man, tell the people about the sports debate that's coming.
So before we officially launch the soapbox, we're not going to officially launch it until September, we're going to have a sports debate tournament. And we're going to do it just like it was the NCAA tournament, except for we're going to have a double elimination tournament so people can get their feet wet into the app. And the basis of this tournament is to find out, with all of these opinions, all of these people running their mouth, who is the most knowledgeable sports debater and opinionator out there right now. You know what I'm saying? And what we're going to do is we're going to use the debate feature, which we call the B feature in the soapbox, and we put up $1,000 grand prize to the winner. And the beauty of this is we have Sports Talk, which is owned by Thawed Magazine and Thawed Sports by Jeremy Jackson, and you're one of the administrators of that. And then also we have another group called Mo Sports Network, which has about 46,000 users on their platform and page. And they are the other side. So we're going to do it Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, American League versus National League. You know what I'm saying? And the winner from the Sports Talk Conference will face the winner from the Most Sports Conference for the $1,000. And we're asking that the guys that are participating get their friends, family, frenemies, all of that, followers to watch them, because our app is set up to where whoever wins the debate is the person who gets the most votes. It's not going to be arbitrary by who we think said it. It's going to be the actual vote tally that comes from the people that have watched the debate.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Man, on the Sports Talk side, man, we still need about 8 people, man. So you want to win this $1,000, you better come on. You know what I mean? Y'all talk about sports all day, every day for free, man. Come on and win this $1,000, man.
Come on, win this bread. Look, I issued a challenge on Sports Talk today, man. I tagged some of the top contributors on there and say, hey, what y'all doing?
Good. And call them out, man. Like, man. Money, man. It's free to enter. You ain't got to pay nothing to enter, man. It's free to get in.
It's free 99, man. Free 99. So we're excited, man.
No doubt, man.
Yeah,
I see Kev in the comments. What up, Kev? Coach Kev. He said he in. So.
Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, look, man. I got my boy Big Baby, Glenn Big Baby Davis coming to Saginaw next Friday, man. Next Friday he's coming to Saginaw. He's doing a comedy tour.
Right now. It's right there.
You ready?
It's right there. And so, I tee it up. You knock it out the park.
Yeah, man. Look, I linked him up with Kev and my other guy so they could jump on his podcast, man. And man, I watched it, man. They're going to get ready to drop it in the next couple of days or so. But man, it was crazy. But I tell you, Big Baby is a fool, man. Oh, jeez. He is a fool, man.
You've been a fool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I don't know if I have too many jokes, man. I'm about to go another way.
Yeah, oh, man. Wait, look, he got a lot going on. Yeah, and so that's the thing, bro. We're trying to get him as many dates as we possibly can before he has to go in. I'm sure everybody knows about his issue. You know, he got convicted. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, whatever that situation is, you know, his idea is that you know he knows what happened, but he's not telling all. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I hate that no snitching situation that affects us so heavily. But at the end of the day, man, we trying to get him as many dates because they froze all of his accounts. He really, you know what I'm saying? So he out here, huh?
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So we just trying to get him as, much bread in his hand as possible before he go in. You know, he still got a family to support. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's it, man. So we linking him up. We're gonna try to get him in Jersey. We're gonna try to get him to Albany, Georgia, Atlanta, and one other location before, because he's supposed to lock it in August. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to get him as many little dates as possible.
Right. So tell everybody about the show here in Saginaw. I got the graphic up, man. Like tell people about the comedians and where it's gonna be, all that.
So look, man, we are partnering with the Court Street Theater. We're working out a partnership with them. I promised everybody last year after we brought Tommy Davidson. People didn't believe we was bringing Tommy Davidson, but we brought him. You know what I'm saying? We brought him, and he showed out, man. He went hard for Saginaw, and I really appreciated it. But we can't go back to the Dow because I hope I ain't stepping on no toes here. But the Dow raped us on that bread, and they hit us with some extra fees and stuff, man. We couldn't go back to them. So we worked out a deal with the Court Street Theater. So we're going there, and we're going to bring the rest of our shows going forward to the Court Street Theater. They got 400 seats, and so we're going to be bringing after Big Baby, the Big Baby show. We'll be the first one with them, and Amber James, man's phenomenal female comic. She travels with what's his name, Big Worm. She travels with J. Anthony Brown. She travels with Tommy Davidson. And so she's big time now, man. She is blowing up. She's on Cat Williams tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is blowing up. And she's a pretty lady too. And so the fellas will get some eye candy plus some real funny jokes. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
The guy, Zach O'Ryan, he does a lot of TV, a lot of commercials. Really funny guy, man. We're excited to have him on because, sometimes when you got urban comedy, they don't put our lighter skinned brothers. I know I'm light skinned, don't do it. But our lighter skinned brothers and sisters on. But Zach O'Ryan can hold his own with anybody, man. And then this kid, Elijah Nevels, when I tell you this kid is a superstar in the making, Saginaw is going to be happy to be able to say they saw him first. When I tell you this kid, 19, when I tell you he is a superstar in the making. And so I just talked with the guy, Quincy Thompson from Saginaw. We're going to throw him on the show, man, give him the first 3 to 5 minutes to do his thing. And we got another brother. I can't think of his name, but he's coming from Detroit as well. And so we're real excited about the show. But this is only the first one. Prayerfully, our next goal is after this. You know what I'm saying? If the people show up next week, which I'm anticipating they will, we're going to be bringing J. Anthony Brown. I already talked to Ronnie Arthur, and Antoine Williams. I know Antoine Williams has his barbecue thing, rib cook-off thing, but I've reached out to them so we can partner with them because I believe in partnering with the brothers that are doing it in the city. You know what I'm saying? And I know Antoine. Antoine was one of my first friends ever. You know what I'm saying? Not first friends as a grown man. He was one of my first friends, like when I was 6 or 7. And so, Twan, man, I'm so excited. Oh, he owned. I didn't know he was on. But we're going to partner with him to bring J. Anthony Brown. Twan said the Dow is not for us. But partner with the Court Street, man. And like I said, I'm getting with Twan and Ronnie Arthur. I've known Ronnie since he was about 7th or 8th grade. And I'm going to partner with them to bring J. Anthony Brown. And then also we're going to bring Darius McCrary. Y'all know Darius McCurry as Eddie Winslow, and from Urkel. And so we're going to bring both of them to Saginaw before the year is out, man. We're looking at September, early October. But we're very excited about, all of the, celebrities. And there's more. These are just the guys that are under the management with my partner, with one of our partners. His name is Isaac Daniel. He has direct management with those guys and direct promotion with those guys. So those are the first guys that we're bringing.
Okay. Man, tell people how they can get some tickets, man.
So find the link. Go to my page on Facebook, my Andreas Parsley Williams page. I know I got 3, but go to Andreas Parsley Williams. And then the links are there. The link to the Ticket Spice, but we're also selling tickets at the door. Look, we wanted to sell out, man, because we want to keep bringing quality events. And also, this is why I need to get with you, Jeff, because Darius McCrary likes to do seminars on child support, man. He has actually a big case in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the reasons I wanted to incorporate you into what we're doing is because, and I want to get with TJ Coleman as well for the CAC, because he wants to do a seminar on child support and the rights of fathers. You know what I'm saying? Because he has a huge case that he's, mitigating, you know what I'm saying, in Detroit. And, the friend of the court in Michigan is not a friend of fathers.
Not at all. No, sir. Not at all.
So, he wants to do a seminar. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to get with you. I know we kind of dibble-dabble and talked about it before, but we said it publicly now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to get with you and TJ Coleman so that we can work out how to, build that seminar portion for him and then also do the comedy night with him.
Awesome, man. Make sure y'all go out and get them tickets, man. Next week. It's next Friday.
Next Friday. Yes, sir. Next Friday. Yes, sir. Next Friday, man. And we're very excited, like I said. And Big Baby going act a fool because he only got a few days. There go my sister Tara Riley. She is our event coordinator, our in-person event coordinator. She's been so great for us. She really set out the Tommy Davidson event, and she's going to do the same thing for this one at the Court Street Theater. We're very excited, man. Very excited.
Absolutely, man. Tara's the homie. I'm gonna call her out because it's something I want her to do. It's something I want her to do. In the political arena. I'm gonna throw you out here, but I ain't gonna say it all.
Yeah. And she has the gift of gab now. She know how to talk to it now.
No doubt. I know it. We was just talking the other day, man. I already know. Man, I want to thank you. Thank you so much, man, for coming on, man.
Man, I appreciate you, Jeff.
Man, so much, man. And man, y'all go get them tickets, man. Support what Drake's doing, man, with the comedy show. Get them, as Kara just said, download Live Waves. I don't know if you can download the other one. I'm not sure. Yeah,
you can download the Soapbox too. Both of them are in the Apple and Google Play. Live Waves. And when you spell the Soapbox, put it all together. TheSoapboxx. We have both platforms.
Cool. Man, salute to you, Dre, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, boss. Look, I hope to see y'all next week, man. I got you, Jeff. You and your wife, man. Y'all come on through now.
Man, hey, say less. I'm there.
Yes, sir. All right,
bro.
God bless, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah, God bless. All right. Man, that's the homie Dre Parsley. Y'all know Dre Parsley, man, from Saginaw, man, doing big things, man. Man, I appreciate y'all, man, so much. I see so many likes, so many shares, man. I appreciate y'all. Us with Cap, we appreciate y'all. Us with Thought Magazine, man. Shout out to J-Jack, man, providing this platform, man. One of the best dudes you could ever know, man. I appreciate you, brother. That's my brother, man. I appreciate you for having Cap here on the Thought Magazine platform, Thought and the Thought Network. So many shows on this network. Make sure y'all go and follow Thought Magazine, man, and thoughtmagazine.com, man. Man, J-Jack, put them links in the chat, man. Follow Thought Magazine, man. J-Jack been putting it down for years. He had the Hype magazine, and now he has Thought Magazine. Man, doing great things. Man, before I get off here, I just want to say thank y'all to everybody. Everybody. Yep, I'll send that to you, Tara, for sure. Man, thank y'all so much for supporting, man. Thank Jimmy Greene for coming on. Thank Dre Parsley for coming on, man. And thank y'all for all the comments, all the support, man. I appreciate y'all. My heart is warm because I'm looking at all these people that's been on here, all these shares, man. I appreciate y'all. It's all love. The Cap family wants to thank you all for being on and supporting the stream, man. I'll be on again next week. You know, and whatever I have on here, man, I'll be sure to share. I'm not sure who I'm gonna have on here next week, but as always, I'm gonna always have a community update for you. I'm always gonna shoot straight. That's what we do with Cap. Follow us at SaginawCap.org. Follow us on all platforms: Facebook, we're Saginaw Cap; Instagram, we're Saginaw Cap; Twitter, we're Saginaw Cap. Man, everywhere there's a platform, Saginaw Cap is on that thing. So we appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. So salute to everybody that shared and liked and supported, man. I appreciate you all. God bless, grace, and peace.